Hello, friends. This is a continuation of commentary on the movie 2001 Space Odyssey. So today I got this video is going to be an addendum to the one previous one, video number 7. Today is July 23rd, 2023. So there is another possibility or a situation that's probably reversed from what I said about Squirt, the little girl, the daughter. Um, what I said earlier in the previous video is correct, but there is a chance of another possibility to the meaning or to the metaphor in that scene when Haywood calls his daughter. So now, usually in the world of Kubrick, and Clark, and there. I don't know about Clark. Maybe Kubrick was too smart to, take what he's done and then morph it, reformat it, mold it to fit what he's thinking. So he took the work of Arthur C. Clarke and implemented his own. Such as inhabit, a position or inhabiting the work of Clark. I don't know. I don't think so. I think Clark is aware of what he was doing, and he is cohorting with Kubrick. There are others too that you don't see. So the squirt could. That's how in the world of Kubrick, they usually raise their children as like everybody else, right? And if the child is not capable of a secret, they leave him as such, right? So if that's the case, then Rachel or Rahul or Rahel is really indoctrinating the child. Could be the other way around. So, but my assumption on that child being kidnapped or something, being a squirt, right, is the correct one. I believe so. So usually they start as red, and if they are not capable of carrying the task of the Kubricks in producing movies, right, they usually leave them as such, right? Uh, uh, so I want to give you a little bit of history about the Kubricks and the Stalins and the Lenins and and the Hitler and the Ayatollahs. They have this formulation about Allah or La or Hal, uh, that he is limited in scope into Arabia and Egypt and here and there and eventually spread out, right? But they also say that he appears as Muhammad. I am familiar with some of these guys uh, believing that Muhammad is really La or Hal. That's a sort of belief that's not possible, or that's not what it is, folks. But they morph in their accounting of that religion and having been fighting against it for 1500 years or Islam. They make such assumptions and they morph. Sometimes they say he's an imposter. Sometimes they say no, he's not. But sometimes they say, oh, it's Allah or Allah has really manifested himself in Muhammad, and that here is supported by that's lately. That here is supported by, if you remember, the monkey that represents Ishmael, looking right and left, and then looking upward to where the leopard is, the spotted skin leopard, who is actually also listed in the book, also thus spake Zarathustra, right? Now, if that's the case, then what they're saying in this movie is that Haywood, really, they're kind of implying or trying to impress on you or insinuating that Haywood is really the other god, right? So we're talking Muhammad La, and then we're talking Haywood, the other god, right? Because he was wearing black. Notice in the movie, he's wearing black. So that's another note here. So squared and okay, so that's that. I have few notes to make here. So now red, I said red denotes the color of the devils and demons, and that's like that's what they're making an assumption here, or stating a hypothesis, right? And they usually say, I think there is a movie, I forgot where and which. It's like there's this devil. I think the costume is done by Ron Silverman. He's like, and the woman calls him Red, and William Hurt is his father, and he's like all red and like he's got those very long horns, similar to that skull on the ground during the dawn of man. When man appeared, the devils just basically were laid to waste. So if you look at the skull, it's very similar. So shopping, if shopping means rich, so if I am to take the second hypothesis about the daughter, I would say hypothesis. The hypothesis here is that the mother is gone shopping. That means she is rich, and the girl is being indoctrinated, and now she's asking for a bush baby. So I am familiar with the Kubrick's right before my eyes, calling others mush and bush babies, things of the sort, right? In metaphor, even though others, heard it, but they didn't make much of it because they weren't suspicious, right? So that's that. Academic spread by Haywood. All right, so so the number 19. I want to explain to you the number 19. The number 19, I think, will come up later. I don't know. Okay, so number 19 is, if you look at, it's in the Quran, there's number 19 in the Quran, and there is like from 1 to 9, that is right. And there's the fractions. All the fractions in the Quran, well, not all of them, as low as fifth, I think, or 10th. But the fractions are well known. So, and then in the tradition of the Prophet, the number 0 is mentioned, Safar, right? And that's in Abu Dawood 1488. But later on, number 19 was taken by the Jews, and it created something like this. I think something like this. And then there's something like this. If you see, this is the Kabbalah. I don't think this illustration is exact to the point. So the Kabbalah is an Arabic word, right? It means acceptance. Kabbalah means acceptance. Islam means surrender. So this here, they thought it was a little bit, like they wanted to counter it, right? So what they've done is say acceptance. So what you take from them is really acceptance, not surrendering to the Lord, right? Rather than accepting who they are, right? The Haywood. I think that's how it is. I don't know. But then if you count the Kabbalah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then there's the 1. So it's really 1, 9, right? They make or put meaning to it. It comes from the Quran. عليها 19, and upon it is 19, right? So the number is there. It's really from 1 to 9. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9. So the numbering, Arabic numerals, is really there along with Arabic language long time ago. They tell you it's Greece, it is algorithm or Khawarizm, or India or here and there. No, it existed along with the Arabic language. Ever since Arabic language was known, they used that numbering system. And then the Kabbalah was actually made to counter the word Islam, right? And so that's what it is. So now you know what the Kabbalah is and what that drawing is. It's really 1 and then 9, right? There's much to say about this, but that's about it. For now, that's all I'm going to say. So that's that. Now, who are the Russians? I made mention that the Russians I was a little bit confused about. I thought they were like Orthodox Christianity because it was there, and that's a possibility. But there's something else occurred to me because of the taping of the scene, and now they turn around the camera, and then behind Meatloaf or Smithloaf, there's a coffee bar. So now I think this is a metaphor for the Arabs, right? Trying to kind of find out, right? If there's something going on, blah, 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 right? And in Islam, there is a concept called the Mahdi. The Mahdi is supposedly a savior that's going to come, not a savior, rather than a corrector, if you will. So he's not a prophet, he is not anything else, but rather he's from the family of the prophet, and then he's supposedly going to correct the situation for in the world, right, as it existed, you know, back to where it was during the golden years of the earth, right? So there is a possibility that this monolith could actually be them talking about the Mahdi. Now, the Shiites brag and crow and bark a lot about the Mahdi, but they hate him. Of course, Shiites are really mixed between Kubricks and, dogs as well, right? And so it goes. So that's probably what it is, that those Arabs or devils, right, as they call them, come to find out really because, if there is any discovery, if there's anything going on, right? Not just that, they use bad ways and means, such as bringing a woman, trying to hook up with, what he means by that is that they send women, right? They send women into the family of Haywood, and the woman usually is like a spy, right? A demon spy, while she's dressed like a human, and that's the woman who was like gesturing licentious and lewd gestures to Haywood, right? So he kind of switched and showed the turn. And she's kind of devil. Why? Because she was wearing that red scarf. So I just wanted to make this note as well. These are Arabs, probably disguised as Russians, and trying to infiltrate, the Kubrick's Zion, right? And they show you that actually in the Matrix, that there's one in there that really turns out to be, or two, turn out to be infiltrators, traitors, right? So the names of the Russians, here is another note I had, right? The names of the Russians can be recomposed. Take the letters, and jumble them, and can be recomposed, and maybe you'll get something out of that. I haven't tried, but it hit me. Okay, so this video is an addendum and follow up on other possibilities as well to the video number 7 that I made yesterday, or the last video. Okay, now on to continue the movie and the next phase